Thank you for liking this video, hitting that notification bell, and subscribing to the channel. Go Spurs, go. My top 4 players on my draft board. I think the Spurs are looking to get that next guy out there who's going to be the next best two-way player. These are the last guys that I have left that have made the cut. The first guy we're going to talk about is Keon Johnson, freshman out of Tennessee. This is my number 1 guy on my board. He's the toughest defensively on the perimeter. He's so laterally quick, and he's so smart with his movements that he can go ahead and give up a driving lane like this and recover enough to just go ahead and make a play with his athleticism. This insane block after giving up a lane to the basket. Now, that's great D, stays low, hand up, getting a little physical. Now, as this offensive player decides to bust this spin move, Keon doesn't give up on the play, right? He beats him down a straight line using his lateral quickness right here, right? A little side shuffle, under control, hand up still to deflect the shot, forcing this really tough mid-range jumper. But to have this awareness on ball, off ball, communicate with the teammate, don't get slipped up, stays with this guy, denies ball again, right? This is just pesky, intense, good instincts, physical, ready to stick your nose in at defense, right? So Keon Johnson does that, Antonio. And the reason why he's so high up on my board right now is because he's able to defend like that. Guys, I mean, like in the NBA, we all know it's guard oriented, like giving them opportunity to flourish, right? You need guys that can shut that stuff down. And sometimes it takes great one-on-one defenders, right? And so he would come in day one ready to go. Offensively, the main thing that stands out is his athleticism. Catches it in the paint. Just look at this launch pad right here. On this step right here, he's ready to launch and put this dude on a poster. Had the highest vertical leap at the combine. Here he is flying down the court in transition, a little 2-on-1 action. Doesn't pull out, doesn't hesitate, keeps the pressure on, finds his angle, finds a little room for him to slip between the defense. And there he is again, just flying, using that athleticism. But he's going to go right into the big here off the catch and just rise up and say, jump with me. And then he's going to go ahead and jam it, right? So if he is there at 12, I want the Spurs to take him. And if the Spurs were in any way able to acquire 2 top 15 picks, I would love the Spurs to take 2 guys in this draft. That wrong. Isaiah Jackson. He's a freshman out of Kentucky, blue chipper, 6'10", 206. Other bigs in this draft that we like Kai Jones, Alfarine Şengün, Usman Garuba, right? Other bigs like that. I would take Isaiah Jackson in a heartbeat. He's an unbelievable instinctive rim protector, right? He doesn't need to always know where his guy is. He's very aware of what's happening on the floor. And he's just so long and athletic. You know, if I freeze it right here, you can see that this guy has no chance to get this shot off. Defending the rim on a whole other level. Sitting over there in the corner, just watching. But that's a wide open lane to the rim. Now, in the NBA, if an offensive guy got this handoff and had a runway like that to the basket, I mean, that dude's going to load up and jam it on you, right? So you need someone athletic to go up and block that. Now, I believe right here recognizes that they need help and is so athletic enough that, look, this guy's already off the floor heading to the rim, and here comes Isaiah Jackson on the backside and just meets him on the glass. Great block, great instincts here, and just swats that thing. He covers so much ground on this play. The ball's getting inbounded, if you can, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the ball's getting inbounded, and it's a long inbound pass to someone who leaked out. Now, Isaiah Jackson is going to sprint the floor. Now, if you look at him fly down the floor, this guy thinks he's got a wide open layup or a wide open dunk, and then out of nowhere comes Isaiah Jackson, says, no, sir, nothing easy, not today. Now, that's raw athleticism. The wingspan, the length, the athleticism that Isaiah Jackson puts together, and how he uses it all on the defensive side of the ball is pretty off the charts, guys. I mean, dude, he's a Kentucky guy. The last time we drafted a Kentucky guy that no one really knew about, it was Keon Johnson. We all know how that's turning. He's very aware of what's happening on the floor and how he can put himself in an opportunity to affect the game. Our perimeter player needed help, got beat off the dribble right here. So he's going to go help and bail him out. And again, just swats that thing. He's great with swatting with his left hand, with his right hand. Unbelievable defender. Doesn't matter. He's on the other side of the semicircle of the restricted area, but he's going to go ahead and leap from there, just drop step. You see this footwork right here? Guys, that's great defensive footwork from here, because first off, he does his job by clogging the paint and making sure that he takes away the wide open rim, the wide open lane to the basket, right? So he stops the ball, does his job. No one's there to help him out. He says, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and rise up again and just swat this thing off the board, right? So he can just easily just clean up a lot of mistakes that are created by the lack of defense at the perimeter. Is able to cut off the first step. That's great footwork, guys. From a guy his size to be able to move his feet like this, stay in front of the point guard and defend without fouling and actually get a little piece of it. All right, so offensively though, guys, he's a monster. He is a elite finisher at the rim. Stayed in front, got the block, got his own steal, pushed the break. Good pass. Guys, he's an unbelievable alley-oop. He is running and flying with you guys on the break. I mean, throw it up to the dude. This is against a zone, right? You're going to get a lot of this. Find a wide open big man, just throw it up there. Just throw it up there and let him go get it. Kentucky looking to isolate him on one side of the floor. So it's not like he didn't have any game. They got him the ball in his spots. He was able to do things like number 23, guys, huge. Can you see that? Anyways, he's going to go ahead and take him off the dribble. 1-2, nice little Euro step. And with the athletic finish off 1 foot in the middle of the lane. This guy is a finisher around the rim. Now, he's also a good passer. He just automatically looks for the cutter back door, and we're getting an easy bucket. Finding a wide open shooter. Not forcing the shot. And then here's another play right here, finding the cutter back door. Right, so there's a lot of versatility to his game. Moses Moody ended up like being at the top of my board early on in this draft process, right? Back about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I kind of compared him to a young Steven Jackson. Is very low to the ground, very smooth, great shooter, a dead-eye shooter, you know what I'm saying? So number one reason why Moses Moody is 3rd on my big board is because I don't think there's anyone else in this draft who can catch and shoot like he does. And I think that Moses Moody would come in day 1 and automatically just start stretching the floor. Look at him standing there at the 3-point line, ready, hands ready to go, ready to catch this thing, in motion, nice and fluid, doesn't waste a lot of energy and just lets it go. It's a beautiful stroke, man. It's a beautiful stroke. In transition, he's the same way. He's creeping around that 3-point line. He has his hands ready. He's gonna turn. Great mechanics on his footwork, great mechanics on his catch. You can tell his eyes are already looking straight at the rim, and then he lets that thing fly, catch money. This is a 2-3 zone. They sent the cutter baseline, and the corner guy went with him, left Moses Moody wide open right here. Look at him, just wide open. He's just salivating at the mouth, man. But here he is. He's gonna catch it nice and easy. He's a little bit slow on his shot, but let me tell you why. It's because nobody can block it. It's because nobody can block it. He has that 7-foot wingspan, and he has guys flying at him, and it rarely affects his mechanics. Rarely. He knows this. He knows that he's got the wingspan to get his shot off over anybody that's flying at him. Cash money again. Be over Cade Cunningham, number 1 pick in the draft, who's going to be flying and contesting. Look how close that contest is. I mean, he is right in his face, but look at that form. It's not bothered a single bit. That thing goes right through the hole. That's the best skill that I think he has that can transfer over to the Spurs. It's very hard for a college athlete who's a great 3-point shooter. It's hard to guarantee that that's going to transfer over to the NBA. It really is. The line's further away. You got more athletic players, you know, guarding you and closing out to you and things like that. So just because you're a great shooter in college doesn't mean you're going to be a great shooter in the NBA. But I actually believe that that's the opposite here for Moses Moody, right? I think he's going to be a great shooter in the league. Number 4, Franz Wagner. I think his defensive potential is through the charts. The way he's able to guard the 3-point line at 6'9", right? Very long wingspan as well. 220 is pretty versatile to me and puts him high up on my list. Jumps over a lot of other guys where he's going to be guarding a lot in the NBA. And that's why this is so important to me, how these guys guard on the perimeter. And he does a great job staying low, staying wide, using his wingspan right here to cause a tough shot. The way that he's able to stay out there on the perimeter and not require like immediate help is just kind of amazing. He can just stick with it, stay with this guy. He actually gets the tip here on the smaller player, blocks his shot, and says, let's go. Again, guarding that three-point line, not falling for the step back, using that length of his to go ahead and contest. He has all the tools to be a great defender in this league. Guarding off the dribble, doesn't fall for the shake, stays in front of him, his feet here, but smart enough to get a hand on the ball without fouling. That's another defensive stop. And he says, let's go. This is kind of like the sneaky athleticism that I'm talking about. He's able to go ahead and jump with this big guy and just swat that stuff. The big guy is ceiling high to get this dump down. The corner guy, this guy should be there to offer help, but it's not. So Franz Wagner actually sees that, leaves a little bit early, and makes the block on the play. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited and really makes him stand out in my eyes. We need to protect the rim, guys. I'm looking at all these guys like who can guard the perimeter and who can protect the rim and also have upside offensively. I'm not too worried about the offensive side of the floor, but I wouldn't be mad if the Spurs selected him. A lot of, and let me tell you why. It's defense. It's not because he's a sniper, because he's really not. He's not like a sniper three-point shooter, but he has very solid mechanics. But it's because he can guard and use his length and athleticism, and he has all these, polished skills. He can shoot well. He's just not a great shooter. He can pass well, but you don't run the offense through him, right? So he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife that is still ready to get, still needing to get molded, and the Spurs will do that just fine. Thank you for liking this video, hitting that notification bell, and subscribing to the channel. Go Spurs, go!